For more, we are joined by Dr. Sinan Ciddi, a senior fellow on Turkey at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. So, Turkish forces entering Syria and silence from the world. How big of a deal is this?
Well, right now, I think it's been somewhat underplayed or not really taken to full account, but it will resonate eventually because, let's be clear, I would say that without the acquiescence, the acceptance of the Syrian Kurds over whatever settlement comes over in terms of the power structure, how Syria is governed in the near future, there will be no peace, no stability in Syria. And Turkey is threatening that right now precisely with airstrikes, drone strikes, as well as reports of early military penetration into parts of northeastern Syria. And this is not something that the Syrian Democratic Forces that the United States backs is likely to take sitting down. So we are looking at the potential for a major escalation of armed conflict between Turkey, its Syrian National Army, so-called militias, as well as the SDF, and it also threatens the safety of U.S. forces there. So it is a highly volatile situation.
Right, you're saying it's concerning. How worried should we be for the bigger picture in Syria right now? I mean, could this have some sort of domino effect?
Quite possibly. Look, I mean, the Syrian Kurds are a constituent part of the Syrian state, right? They're a major part of the entity in terms of population, in terms of influence, in terms of rights. And what we are seeing is a neighboring country, such as the Republic of Turkey, trying to determine what kind of situation the Kurds have inside of their own country in terms of, where they will live, how they will be involved in power structures, whether they even exist or not. And we've seen threatening behavior towards Kurdish towns such as Kobani and Kamishla, if not further afield. And that's just not something that the Syrian Kurds are going to, accept. And if the extent to which this, devolves into armed conflict, it could really destabilize the entire sort of stability of the state as we've seen it. Because what we're seeing now is mainly how it's playing out with the Hayat Tahrir al-Sham and its power takeover in Damascus region. But the Kurds on the northeastern part, as well as the wider parts of Syria, are not just going to sit by and idly watch, Turkey determine their status. And we'll have to see how this plays out.
Right, a lot of moving balls. For Israel, we know that the IDF has been trying to preemptively prepare itself for whatever comes next. In your opinion, what is the most important thing that Israel needs to be focused on right now?
Well, I mean, the Israelis have obviously, taken preemptive and I would say wise efforts to actually neutralize any potential air threats that would come towards Israel from air bases, Syrian air bases. So we've seen a lot of efforts to essentially neutralize air assets from fighter jets to helicopters, as well as air defenses. And so this has really put the Israeli military in a strengthened position vis-a-vis its border with Syria. So HTS forces that have captured these vast lands, if they intended harm on Israel, they've really had a significant wing clipped in terms of air power, and this should give them a moment of pause. So Israel's taken all the right actions in terms of making sure that they're giving the rebel forces, so-called, a moment of pause before they actually do anything that's likely to be inflammatory or escalatory.
All right, Dr. Sinan Ciddi, thank you very much for that analysis and update.